Square Enix is currently under fire after somebody had created a mod in Final Fantasy XIV called PlayerScope, in which would make a user be able to use the updated blacklisting features in Final Fantasy XIV in order to gain information in which they may not have the clearance to have. According to Game Rant, they say on the FF14 discussion subreddit, players have discussed the ramifications of a mod called PlayerScope that allows users to install it to scan the account ID data of any character that they see without the target's knowledge or consent, including main and alternate characters and the retainer names. The update to Final Fantasy XIV's blacklist that arrived in patch 7.0, Dawn Trail, also changed the way account ID data is stored on the client side, making add-ons like PlayerScope able to scrape the data without much effort. The character data obtained by PlayerScope is then uploaded to a server maintained by the mod's author and not by Square Enix. In response, players shared their worries that bad actors would use the mod to stalk and harass anyone, on top of potential security vulnerabilities. The story goes on to say that although the mod maker has released an opt-out function via their Discord server, not an opt-in, Final Fantasy XIV players have expressed concerns that the mod could lead to Square Enix implementing an anti-cheat client in the future. At the time of writing, Square Enix has not commented on the PlayerScope situation. However, the company recently created a new anti-harassment policy that would allow Square Enix to take legal action against employee abuse by toxic fans. And that is something that I hope to discuss at a later point, because there is some controversy behind that as well. The unnamed person shared on an equally unnamed Discord server saying, quote, "Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to talk about the recent interest in the plugin. PlayerScope started as a closed beta, only available to a few close friends on the whitelist. However, someone found the plugin on GitHub and shared it on Reddit, which led to a lot more people wanting to use it. I really appreciate the interest, but I wasn't expecting this much attention. I'm working on making some changes to handle this better starting tomorrow or very soon. You won't need to be on the whitelist anymore. Instead, anyone who verifies their Lowstone account through the plugin will be able to use it. And note, you won't need to install the plugin to hide your characters. You'll be able to set your character's visibility to private through the Set Profile private channel. Thank you for your patience while I work on this. I'll keep you updated." So let's first get to the dangers that this poses, and they're pretty obvious on the surface, but there are also a huge amount of problems below the surface too. First of all, the amount of data that this person could probably access and the amount of information that someone could get through this sort of mod, which, by the way, Square Enix has said they don't want mods on their game. However, knowing how they've become so widespread in recent months and recent years, it is nearly impossible to completely nip it in the bud, unless you do the anti-cheat as Game Rant had said. What sort of information is stored on that client side that that person could have access to? Could it be email addresses? Could it be credit card information? What is all there? We just don't know. And to have this plugin and this mod out there, which somebody could walk right past your character and you may not even know they're even using it. You may not even know this thing even exists, and they scan your character and they see, oh, you have this and this and this character, but you also have this email address. They may have that information, and forget the stalking stuff, which is a problem in of itself. No sane person is going to approve of someone harassing or stalking and doxing anybody. No sane person is going to agree to that. But then if someone has a bone to pick with somebody and they go and find, oh, they have this email. Oh, I know that they have this X account or Blue Sky account or Facebook account. Hey, they hold these opinions, their opinions, and the way that social media just is toxic about every last little thing, from your political beliefs to what you watch on TV or what movies you like, what characters you enjoy watching, anything at all. They are way too serious about every last little thing, and they will block you on social media for anything at all. I've seen the stupidest reasons for someone to hit that block. The console wars, Microsoft versus Sony, that kind of stuff. And then you have this sort of blacklisting feature, and now you have this problem that Square Enix created themselves through this kind of update. I'll get to that in a minute. This is a disaster waiting to happen, and the fact that this mod maker thought that this was a good idea to even implement. The reason that is speculated here that he wanted to use this particular thing in the first place was that he wanted to find out who was undercutting him on the market board on Final Fantasy XIV. That is petty to say the very least, and to put this out there to where this has so many dangerous things, stalking people's alts and stalking people's accounts and trying to find out, who owns this person, who owns that character, who owns this character, and who has used it in the past, who's already used it. If someone that was on a server that some other person was on, they have already been doxxed, basically. You can dox somebody from this. This is serious business. This is absolutely serious. And everybody's going on the angle about the harassment and the stalking that someone can do when someone tries to make an alt in order to get away from the harassment, and somebody says, we're just going to start over again because now we know you made that alt. That in itself is bad, but then you take into account my angle here, which is also to compound the fact this is in addition to everything I just said about the stalking and harassment of alts, which is somebody can, if they have a bone to pick, as I said, they can find out a lot of stuff about you that you didn't even know they found out. And they found out, you played Hogwarts Legacy at some point. Well, you are now on my ignore list. I'm going to tell everybody that I know about you. And then you didn't even know that someone even did that. Someone could find out a whole bunch of stuff about you you wouldn't even know. And you wouldn't even know that there was even an issue with you doing whatever it was on X or whatever. But everybody is also saying that if this wasn't made, then someone else would have done this, because the way that Square Enix handled all this. Yes, you want to tackle harassment, vitriolic behavior, targeted harassment, targeted vitriolic behavior, doxing, abusive behavior, stalking, anything like that. Any sane person will want you to take care of this. But there's gotta be a better way to go about it. The execution here is flawed, and is obviously flawed now because someone took way too much advantage of this. Okay? There's gotta be a better way than to just say, hey, you have to take care of it yourself. If someone's making alts and continuing to harass somebody, then obviously Square Enix has to have some form of record of that on their side, and they could take action for that. Be more proactive instead of trying to put it on the responsibility of the players to weed that stuff out. Because you know this is going to get abused. You knew this was going to get abused. With the way that social media is anymore, you can't hold even the slightest bit of an opinion without the risk of someone doxing you, or worse, targeting your loved ones, targeting your workplace. Do they understand the ramifications here? There's gotta be a better way to go about this. And especially now that someone has made this particular mod and they blew the door open. And the reason why they did this in the first place, and the way you opt out, where you don't have a choice, the way you opt out is to give them your private information. First of all, who's going to do that? Second of all, that's going to defeat the whole purpose, since they will have your information anyway and they can do whatever they want about it anyway. So it's just either you give us your information now or we'll find it out. And let's not get into if there was other things that they could find out, like your credit card information. I would hope that's not stored into the client side, but I've seen stranger things happen. If you're trying to keep a private life separate from your public life, and then someone finds a way to link the two together, what would happen on that point? This is just a bad idea all around. And the idea that this came from what I think was a questionable update to the blacklist as it was, knowing how some people are, how some people can abuse a system like that as it is, then you give them more power to cancel people. And yes, you could use that to effectively cancel someone. This mod can be used to cancel someone if you find out, this character is owned by this person, and this person has this X account, and this X account used to say some things I didn't like on a political front. They didn't vote for the person that I wanted them to vote for, so I'm gonna out them. And then anybody who knows this particular person owns that character, they just lost a whole bunch of friends, if those friends are those kinds of people who will monitor your every move. Now, I would say if they're gonna do that, you didn't really have them as friends to begin with, and you deserve better friends. But also keep this in mind, that what happened this past Friday, in which a particular user on X, Airbag, got suspended from X. and the things that we had found about concerning him, and the way some people were really celebrating the fact that X finally took action against that user, and the kind of things that he was saying about and toward people, and the kind of things that they were doing, that they were posting, I would not feel safe with my information being out there, knowing that people could go to that extent because they have a difference in opinion about a game, or about a particular issue that is affecting gaming, or about a movie that they didn't like. Bottom line is, it's a scary thing all around. I don't want to see this happen. I hope that Square Enix fixes this. This needs to be fixed now. Let's just come out and say this. It has to be fixed ASAP, right away. I think I can speak for a good bit of people who played the game, because I know a lot of people who played that game. And for the record, my opinion about Dawn Trail's story and about Wick Lamar is one that nobody really is going to agree with. I'll save that for another time. But bottom line is, I'm on the fence about Square Enix's ethics as of late. I think they're a great company. They make good games. Some of their corporate decisions as of late kind of irks me the wrong way. But at the same time, I feel like there's potential there to really turn it around. I don't think they're at the Ubisoft level of dire straits and any sort of means, but some of their decision making is polarizing, to say the very least. This thing here, they can fix it. They can fix it in a way that will make everybody happy. The first way you do it is just roll back those blacklisting features. Roll back that blacklisting thing, because as much as I feel as though some people may like that sort of thing, and I agree with you that we need to have a talk about how people behave on the internet and how people treat other people on both sides of this aisle, both sides of the equation, there has to be a better way to address the topic in such a way that won't get abused by either this person who's creating this thing in order to effectively stop people from undercutting him. That's all this was for. You already see that this proves my point right, that it would get abused. It's already getting abused. And Square Enix, until this gets fixed, at the very least, until this gets fixed, maybe roll back these updates, because you know where this is headed. Hopefully you address this, and you address this ASAP. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep up with your mental health, and I will see you next time. I hope I see you next time. Until next time, to be continued.